36. L. 14. Black threatens now KDQ5, and has altogether the superior game. The above moves occurred first in a game between Professor Anderson White and the author in the Vienna tournament of 1873. L. 15. This variation is arrived at by a transposition of moves in the four knights game. L. 15. Some authors recommend 6PQ3, 6PQKD4, 7BKD3, 7PQ3, 8PKR3. We think there is no objection to this line of play, excepting that we would substitute 8KDK2. The move we advocate is necessary, if White wants to open the game by PQ4. He cannot well do so at present, for after 6PQ4, 6PX, 7KDX, 7KDX, 8QX, 8PQKD4, Black will win a piece, since if 9BKD3, 9PQB4, followed by page 65, etc. L. 15. If n. Page 64, 12Q64, 1200, 13PQR4, etc. 40. L. 17. A dangerous move to deal with in practical play. 41. L. 17. Ish 6. BXB chapter 7KXB, 7KDX, 8PQ for 8KKDKD5 chapter, or 8. QKDKD dollars. Chapter 9KKDSQ.9. QKD4, IADKD3, 10PQ3, UPKR3 plus 9KKD square, 9QRs, 10PKKD3, 10Q63, IIQK2, then KDB6 chapter, or N. QQKD3, 12KKD2, 12KKD2, I2QKDXRP, 13KDQ5 plus 42. L. 17. Better than 7. BKD dollars, 8PX, 8KDX. 9QQ for 9KDX, 10PX, 10BK to UQKD4 plus, for it Black Castle, there follows the R6, etc. 43. L. 17. Not 13PQKD4, to which White would effectually reply 14PQR4. Now the positions are even, although by any other move than 9KD65, Black gets the worst of the game, as proved in an analysis by Professor Berger, which we see quoted in Salvioli's work, and which we believe appeared first in the Scacchiadan. 44. L. 18. If 10KDKD3, 10KDKD3, IIKDXB, 10PQ3 plus 45. L. 18. This variation occurred between Blackburn White and Zucker toward in the Paris tournament of 1878. 12. The Ruy Lopez. PK circumflex accent. The QELUPELZ. 13. L. 19. Ish 6. PX 7 RK square, 7 P kilobytes 4, 7. PQ 4 is obviously worse, as White equally replies KDX and must win the piece ultimately by P kilobytes 3 8 KDX 8 KDX 9 QX KDF. Solve. Vili also points out the main play of the following attack, if in lieu of the text move Black plays 6. PQ for this 7 KDX 7 BQ2, 8 KDX 8 KX 9 QRs chapter, 9 KKY, 10 KDB3, 10 KDX or 10. KDK2, 11 KDX, then BXB, if PX the V answer BKDJ chapter, followed by Q65 chapter or KD5 chapter mates 12 KDB dollars chapter, 12 KQ3, 13 KDXB chapter and wins 10 PX 10 PKKD3, 12 RK square chapter, 12 K62, or 12. K83, 13 QXQP, etc. by 3 QXQP chapter, 13 KKD2, 14 QBKDs, 14 QB square, 15 BQKD3, 15 BK square, 16 RK7 chapter and wins. L. 19. Should White attempt 7 KDX, the best answer is 7. KDX not 7. PXB, 8 KDX followed by RK square plus 8 PX 8 KD64, 9 BKD3, 9 KDXB, 10 RPXKD, 10 BKD2, etc. Greater than call. 0.19 Skaboran played here PQR4 against Rosendahl in the London tournament. Call. 19. We consider this move, which was first adopted by Anderson, as best, for it removes a loose piece into security and opens the advance of PQB3, eventually, but only in rare cases, PQB4 might be ventured for black. If 8BK3, Salvioli rightly recommends 9 page 963, and we find that this strong move might lead to the following continuation: 9.BK to 10B62, 10 KDB4, then KDQ4, 11 KDX, 12 P kilobytes 4, 12 KD65, 13 KDB6, 13 QQ3, 14 KDXB, 14 KXKD, 15 page 65, 15 BB square best, 16 PQKD3, 16 KDKD3, 17 QQ4, 17 P kilobytes 3, 18 PQR4, 18 PX, 19 BQR3, 19 QKD, Q2, 20 PQKD4, 20 KDKD2, 21 RK square chapter, 21 KQ square, 22 RK6 and wins. L. 19. Threatening RX KD, followed by BX chapter, and much stronger, we think, than BK3. If 9 KD KDs, 9 KDX KD, 10 BX KD, flop QB3, 10 PQR4, BKS, 12 PX, 12 RPX, 13 RXR, 13 QXR, 14 PQB3, 14 PKR3, we slightly prefer black. L. 19. None of the moves of the B are satisfactory in our opinion, as the B not only ought to be reserved, but ought to be kept in communication with both wings. If, for instance, 9.BKD5, 10 PKR3, 10 BR4, 10 BXKD, 11 QXB is obviously worse for black, 11 PKKD4, followed by KDR4 and P kilobytes 4. L. 19. We consider this better than KDXB. L. 19. Followed by KDQB2 and BK3. L. 20. 5 QKDX is obviously disadvantageous, as white replies 6 KDXKD, 6 PXKD, 7 PKS, 7 KDKS, 8 QX, 8 KD64, 9 BKD3, 9 KDXB, 10 RPXKD, 10 BK2, U664 with the superior game. L. 27. KDXKD leads by the transposition of moves to the position in our last note. If 7. KD64, 8 KD65, 800, or 8. KDXB, 9 KDXB chapter, 9 KB square, 10 BR6, 10 KD square, II KD65, then KDXKP, 12 RK square, 12 PQ3, or 12 P kilobytes 3, 13 QQ5 chapter plus 13 RXKD and wins 9 BXKD, 9 KDPXB, 10 KDXB chapter, 10 QXKD, UP kilobytes 4. White has slightly the better game. L. 20. Or IIPXB, IIQKDX with the superior development. 57. L. 21. This variation is from Salvioli, with whom we agree that the attack has passed over to black's side. 58. L. 22. White having moved 5 QK2 was a loss of time, and black's last move neutralizes the attack, for he threatens now PQ4, etc. L. 23. To provide against the adverse advance of PQR4. If 664, 7 PQR4, 7 QRKD square, 8 PX, 8 PX, 9 QKD63, 9 PQ3, 10 QKDX, 10 QBKKD dollars, IIBR for plus. L. 23. Black has a weak spot at kilobytes 4. BB square is now of little use, as white answers KR square, followed by PKKD3 and P kilobytes 4. And if 10. PKKD3, UBR6, URKSQ, 12 PKKD3, I2QKDR4, 13 BB2, 13 PQKD5, 14 KDQ2, with the superior game. 61. L. 24, or 7, Q arcade square, 8px beer, 8px beer, 9q kd 63, 9p kds, io kd tilde q5 plus 62, L, 24, if 8pq 3j 9qb4 and wins, the Ruy Lopez, 25.00, 1 high, Ruy Lopez, 63, L, 25. Or for .bk to 5 kdb3, 5 page q3, 6 page q4, 6 px beer, 7 kdx beer, 7 bq2, 8 kdx kd, 8 px kd, 9 bq3 plus 64, L, 25, best, ish 7, .qpxb, 8 px beer, 8 kdb4, 9 rqsq 9 bq2, lop k6, 1 kdk5 and wins, 65, L, 25, of course necessary as white threatens kdxdp, L, 26. In the London tournament, 1883, Wynor continued here against Zucker toward 7qk to 7qb kilobytes 4, 8pk kd4, 8b 9 pkr4, 9qq2, 10 kdx beer, clock skp, uk kd kilobytes 3, iiq q2, 12 kd kd5, 12 qk2, i3 rksq, by 3000, plus call. 26. 7 bb4 or p kilobytes 4 obviously dead on account of the replied kdx beer, and if 7. kdb3, 8 kdx beer, 8 bk3, 9 qk to threatening kdx kdp 9. bk to 10 kdb3 plus L. 26. The position is very similar to one in the I2th game of the last match between Steinitz and Zucker toward, the difference being that white in the present variation is ahead in the development while black has advanced PQR3. L. 27. From a game between Wynor and Hopern Salvioli. 70. L. 28. Threatening QXRP chapter followed by RR mate. 71. L. 28. If IIPKR3, 12PQ for threatening BXRP 12KR2 by 3 KD65 and wins. 72. L. 28. There is nothing better. If, for instance, 12PQ3, I3RR by 3PXR, I4QB6 mate. 73. L. 29. Or 7BQ3, 700, 8QKDB3, 8KDXKD, 9RXKD, 9PQB3, 10PQKD3, 10KDK square, even game. 74. L. 29. Better, we think, than 9PQ for which would give white an earlier opportunity of dissolve. In his doubled P by PQB4 after KD kilobytes 4 and 00. 75. L. 29. Necessary, for it 900, 10 KDX KBP and wins. L. 30. Black may also play for .QKDX beer, 5 KDX KD, 5 PX KD, 6 PKS, 6 PQB3, 700, 7 PX beat, 8 BKD5, 8 BK2, 9 PX KD, 9 DX. 10 RK square chapter, 10 KB square, IIPX beat, II, QX beat, 12 page QB3, 12 page Q4, 15 PX beer, 13 BK3, I4 KDB3, 1 for page QR3, 15 RKS, 15 RQSQ, I6Q KD3. So far this variation was played between Morphy and Anderson and the latter now played 16 QK to 16 PK KD3, and we think black ought to maintain a P with the superior game, for its circumflex accent KDX beer. Asterisk 7 RX KD, 18 RXR, 18 KD2, 19 RQ6, 19 BXQ, followed soon by RQB square with the superior game. L. 30. Continuation 15 BXKDF 15 QXB, 16 QX beer, 16 RK square, 17 Q62, 176 KD5 followed by BR4, and QXP Salvioli. 16. Page K4 K4. The Ruy Lopez. KKD B3 KD. 4. 31 KDX KD, PX KD 020. 32. For B are for 78PBB4. DP cool. TB379 PKD4. KSQ. Exclamation point 80 NPQ3BB4 81 QQB4. 10 page QKD4 8 asterisk O. KDQ 4. BKD2 KDKD3. PQ3. UQKD3. QBXB chapter. LU NLVDYP equals S. 13. 33 34. PKR4. UPQB3. 7B are for KDB3. KDQ or 80 for UQR4. 35 36. B4. R KDXKD chapter. QXKD UQ Rs UQ K2. 7 KDQ to 7 BKD5 7 QKD. KDB3 BKD5 CH dot question mark 8600. Then KDB3 N page B3 N QXKP. K288. KDKD3. Then QR5 chapter and KDQ2 plus IU page KD382 Luti Shiam tilde. HQQS CH by KD2. Passing. QXR. Asterisk KDK to KDK4 plus. 15 QXB plus 83. 85 kilobytes B for log KDKD3. M KDKDs. BXQ page Q for R. 0083. Island chapter. PQR4. BXBPXR queening. QQB5D. 10 PXB plus. B square 12 KK to wins 87. 14. KR3 KDK4 plus. Column 55. Move N. Q65. Black. U. And column 3 6. Move 8 PQ for. Black. IHBI asterisk percent asterisk circumflex accent asterisk. IM asterisk hand. T11K RUV lawless. 7. L. 31. Ish 6BB4, 6 KDB3, 7 PQ3, 7 PQ4, 8 PX 8 KDX 9 KDQ2, 9 BK2, 10 KDK4, or 10 KD63, block 80 KD3, etc. 10:00 even game. L. 31. Or 6. BB4, 7 PQS, 7 KDK2, 7. KD83, 8 PK dollars, 8 KDQ for 9 BKD3 leads to a similar line of play as in the main variation in favor of white 8 QRs, 8 PQ for 9 KDQ2 plus L. 31. It would not be good play to advance PK5 at once as black after KDK5 threatens to attack the B by KDQB4. Nor is 7 PQB3, 7 PQ for 8 PKS, 8 KDQ2, 9 PX 9 QKD3, favorable for white who cannot support the QP by 10 QKD4 on account of 10 KDXKP. L. 31. If 7 BK to 8 PKS, 8 KDQ for 9 QKD4 plus 82. L. 32. There is nothing better. If 9 KK to log KD5 chapter 10 KQ3 or 10 KDB 3 10 PK5 IIQ 67 and wins, for it 11 KDK2, 12 BX chapter and mate's next move. I call. 32. This variation occurred in the London tournament of 1883 between English and Widener. L. 33. If 8. KDKD5, 9 PKR3, 9 KDXKP, Joe RK square plus L. 3 for or 9. KDKDs, 10 PKR3, 10 KDR3, 11 PQB3, 11 PX 12 PXBF. 86. L. 35. This loses soon by an ingenious process. But even after 7 KD63, 8 BX KD, 8 9 P kilobytes 4, we preferred white. 87. L. 35. This variation is the invention of Mr. G. E. Barbier, and is given in Lipschitz edition of Gossip's Manual. 88. L. 36. The sacrifice of the P is not sound, but it leads to interesting play. Greater than L. 36. In a game between Mackenzie and Bird in the London tournament of 1883, the former Played here 9pq3 and the game proceeded 9pqr4, 10-00, 10rr3, 10px IIRKKD3 with a strong attack. It should be noticed that if 9px GKD63, 10bxKD, 10pxb, then 00, 10rk square, 12qkd3, 12br3, with an excellent attack. 18. 37. The Q. Lopez. 90 call. 37. A defense adopted by Steinitz against Blackburn in the Vienna tournament of 1873. 91. Call. 37. We consider this stronger than the continuation for PQ for PX beer, 5 KDX beer, 5 KDX KD, 6 QX KD, 6 KDB3, 7 QQ5, 7 BK2, 8 KDB3, 800, not 8. DB3 as played by Steinitz in the above named game. See illustrative games 9BQZ, 9QK square followed by page 03 with an even game. 92. Call. 37. The position would be identical with a variation in the pawns in the opening if now followed 6QK4, 6QQ4, etc. 93. Call. 37. Or 7. PX80, 8BB4, 8Q kilobytes 4, 900 equally good is 9P04 followed by P kilobytes 3 plus 94. Call. 37. Of course the black dare not take the beat on account of KDQ6 chapter. 95. Call. 38. There is nothing better as white threatens KD5 or QQ-KD3. 96. Call. 38. Black's KD is useless and his position is much cramped otherwise. If black now play NPQB4, white answers BK3 followed by QKDQ2. 97. Call. 39. Mr. Barnes, the originator of this defense, justly gives this as black's best move in his analysis published in Brentano's Chess Monthly. 98. Call. 39. Or 10 KD63, then B, K square chapter, UKDK2, 12 BKD5, 12 page 63, 13 QB kilobytes 4 plus. 99. Call. 39. Black must exchange B for KD and then he has an isolated P and hole on his king side, while his Q side is also too much exposed to allow his castling on that side very comfortably. 100. Call. 41. If for KKDK2, 500, 5 PQ for 6 KDX, 6 PX, 7 KDX, 7 KX KD, 8 QR5 chapter, 8 KDKD3, 9 QXB plus. This variation occurred between Golombeck and Steinitz in their last match game of 1888. 101. Call. 41. The combination of the last three moves of black forms Boden's favorite defense. 102. Call. 41. After 7 KDRs, 7 KDQ square, 8 KD64, 8 KDB2, 9 KDK3, 9 page 63, IO KD65, IO QB square, then BQ3, 10 PKKD3, followed by PQ3 as played in a game between Morphy and Lowenthal, black obtains an even game. The move in the text obviously threatens BXKD followed by PR5 103. Call. 41. If 8 PQ3, 9 PRs, 9 BR2, for it BX, then obviously PQ5 wins, and if 9 KDX, IO BXKD, IO RXB, 11 RXKD, UBXR, 12 QR for chapter and wins. 104. Call. 42. Or 5 BKD5 chapter, 6 page 63, 6 PX, 700, 7 PX, 8 BX with a strong attack, or else 6 QKDQ2, followed by 00 and KDKD3. 105. Call. 42. The safest plan for moderate players would be 7 QKDQ2 followed by KDKD3 and Art K square, or QBKD5, recovering the P with the better game. 106. Call. 42. White's position is similar to that arising in the Danish gambit, but we think it is more in White's F and vertical line on the latter opening. 107. Call. 42. Or 9 KDR4, IOQ63, or if 9 PQ3, IORQ square, or KDKDs. 20. PK for 1 PK 4. Game 1. Game 2. The KUV Lopez. KKDB 3. Game 3. Game 4. International Chess Magazine. March-April double number, 1888. JGOLMAYO asterisk Steinitz. International Chess Magazine. May, 1888. Ponce Steinitz. ANDERSSENSUHLE. International Chess Magazine. April-May, double number, 1886. Steinitz ZUKERVORD. Sub Q3 JPQ for Q2-0 KKDK2 vertical line page QS2. And FDSQP KKD3 vertical line QBKKD5 underscore BKD2. UPKR3. Alpha K3 kilobytes for 3. 12 QB square for KDR300 KDK square. JQR4. The circumflex accent page 65 IRBQ exclamation point OKR2. 1 and KDKD's idea KDR3. 4 and QXRP. KD3. Page QKD4 8 LOCATX PD. QXKDQ59. 10 or 211. FLDKRB 312 QXKP13 circumflex accent R7 backslash B2. 14 RB3 white resigns. KDXP15. KKD3. PXKD kilobytes QB4 16 OFI KD2. 9 circumflex accent KDB3. 10 RKSQ. 17 JOO. 11 B3 circumflex accent R18 K square 19. 12. 151 equals KD square 2O. Greater than PKR3. RR tilde Q square. QK2 IBXKD. QXBP21 block K6D. ONK KDSG. BK422. QXQR23. KKD to KDR324. E white resigns. 25. BXKDCH. 26. P kilobytes for 27 PXKP. KD1. Q for PK6. J iron. 10 BXP. 11 B, ILR. QB3 page QB428. ZSRPXB 29 PXPQ Hars page tilde B3 KKDXKP PXKD. 17 QXB1, QXB. 1 F5 KDXP Otus PB4. 30. 19 QV circumflex accent 31 KRKSG. LUKB square. Dot KDXP. QRQSG. 6/IBB square. QQKD4. 30 to circumflex accent UKKDSQ. 33 NJKDK4. QB for chapter B UKD62. 9 white KDQ6 and FFins. D34. SJFD. B3. 6. PKKD3 PQ for BQ2. BKD2.PXPQ KDXP KDXKD PXKD vertical line QK to OO page B3 PQR4. 13 KDB square. BK3 PKKD4 35. 15. Square. Q underscore Q to BB2 IPKR4 36. JJJPKD5 37 1 KDKSQ. 18 Q underscore B3 page QB4 38 block ADQ 339. 40. RRSQ. 41 QRBSQ. 42. 28. 29. K square. Kilobytes to 43. KDB square. BKDC 44. Chapter. U circumflex accent KDR2 and QBB for a KD underscore B3 45. U circumflex accent KR dollars squared. 35 circumflex accent equals 46 Q to 47. TK to 48. PX page 49. 50. Greater than 51. QXRKSRP. Black resigns. 52. The Rui Lopez. 21. Golombeck. Steinitz. 1. Game I for PX is also good. It transposes the game into a position arming and I-s defense. Compare call. 13 page 148. 2. Game I. Though this cramps the adverse pieces, Black obtains the initiative of an attack against the fixed KP. If 6pxb.6pxb, not 6kdxb, on account of 7kdxkd, and if 7 ups, 8kdxbp, 8kxkd, 9qr5 chapter, plus 7bqb4, then 7. Kd square with the view of an Kd q3 against the attack by Kd5 is the only correct play. 3. Black has evidently the best of the game, for if white answered px the period takes with a formidable attack. 4. Game I. B square with the object of playing Kd q2 was, we believe, better. 5. Game I. The subsequent loose position of his q and b is fraught with danger. In such a blocked situation, freedom for his q to retreat to q2, if necessary, should have been reserved, and b right back to b square was the proper move. 6. Game I. Necessary for his plan of breaking in at the move. 7. Game I. Whether or not he takes this peak, black obtains a strong attack by Kd/J. 8. Game I. Black threatened Kd(x)Kp followed by Px(Kd), or vice versa. 9. Game I. If 21Qxb, 21 page 63, 22Q84, 22PQKd4 wins the Q at once. 10. Game I. Much better anyhow was Kdxb, though the Q could not be saved, even then, if black replied Rk square. 11. Game I. Not as correct as Rk square, threatening Rk3, and leaving white without resource. 12. Game I. After 24. Rq square, white has no other option than to give up the Q for 2 pieces, commencing with Pxb. 13. Game I. Pxb was still his best plan. 14. Game I. White has lost the rook and yet cannot save the Q if 27 Pks, 27 R2K2 followed by Rk3, etc. Ponce v. Steinitz. 15. Game 2. This may be as safely played as Kd(K2), adopted in the previous game. 16. Game 2. If AQQ for black's best answer is AQ63. 17. Game 2. A premature preparation for the attack which leaves the R unprotected, and subsequently causes him embarrassment. It was for many purposes better to develop Kd63, followed by B, Q2 and the other Rk square. 18. Game 2. Still Kd63 was preferable. Game 2. Ukdx was tempting, for after 12 Qxkd, 12 Rk square, 13 Bxb chapter, 13 Kdxb, 14 Q63 chapter, 14 Kdsq, black has the superiority of position. But if white answered 12 Rxkd, we preferred his game after 12 Pq for 13 Rk square, 13 Pxb, 14 Kdr3, etc. Game 2. Always a considerable compensation for allowing his pawns to be doubled in the present and similar openings. By compelling white to advance the QKDP, black indirectly obtains greater command for his kilobytes, which can be easily unmasked by removing the Kd that now blocks his action. Game 2. Recovering his P but subjecting himself to an irresistible attack. Game 2. Threatening Qr4 at once, or after Bxb chapter. Game 2. If 24 Qxo, 24 Rxrch, 25 Qb square, 25 Bx chapter, 26 Kb2, 26 Bkd6ch, and wins, for white must now capture the beat, as he would be mated into moves if he retreat Kdsq. Game 2. This loses at once, but even 26 Kdq2 would not have saved the game on account of 26 B63, 27 Rk8, 27 Bx, 28 Rq square, 28 QQB7 asterisk and wins. Game 2. Obviously black wins the Kd now by Q64 chapter, or if 27 Rqb square, 27 Bkd7. Anderson v. Sol. Game 3. Anderson generally adopted this early exchange, which, however, we do not approve of. Game 3. A hazardous venture now that white will be soon ready to castle, and this alone makes the counter gambit more dangerous than in a similar position in the filater defense. Game 3. A splendid move which gives him an irresistible attack, as it forces a break in black's center sooner or later. Game 3. So far white has admirably conducted his attack, but we doubt the policy of the sacrifice. Continued on page 23. 22. The Q. Lopez. Game note. I. Move 19 kdxqt black Steinitz. Game number 2. Move 19 pkd6. Black Steinitz. White golmayo. White ponce. Game number 3. Move 27. kdq6. Black suhle. Game number 4. Move 39. q63. Black zukher. White anderssen. White Steinitz. The Rui Lopez. 23. Continued from page 2-1, which this and the next hidden move initiated, and we would have preferred the plain QR5 which must have recovered the P with the superior game. Game 3. This effort to prevent the chapter of the KD much endangers his game, which, we believe, was quite good enough after 18 QK to 19 KDQ6 chapter, 19 KB square, 20 KRK square, 20 BK3, 21 QRQ square, after 21 RXB, 21 QXR. White has no discovered chapter with the KD that would much imperil Black's game. 21 KD62, 22 RXB, 22 QXR, 23 KD65 chapter, 23 KD square, and wins. For it now 24 KDK7 chapter, Black answers QX KD, and if RXR chapter first, the Black King obviously gains the square for escape at 62 after retaking with the KD. Game 3. Again 19 QK2 was better and might have led to the following continuation: 20 KRK square, 20 BK3, 21 QKD chapter, or 21 KDB6 chapter, 21 KB2 and wins 21 K62, 22 KDX, 22 RQ3, etc., with a defensible game. Game 3. White could have won here at once by 23 KDK4, 23 QK2, or 23 .BXR, 24 RXR, and wins either by QXB chapter, or RQ8 chapter accordingly. 24 KDQ6, 24 QQ2, 25 Q64 chapter, 25 KD square, 26 QKD5, 26 KB square. We see nothing better, if QXKD the replied QXR chapter is sufficient to win. If 26 KDB2, 27 KDXKD, 27 QXR, 28 KDR6 chapter, and makes next move, otherwise White threatens RK7 27 KDXB, 27 QXR, 28 Q kilobytes for chapter, 28 KD62, 29 QKD for chapter, 29 KD square. If KDR interposes he loses his Q 30 KDK7 chapter, 30 KD square, 31 KD6 double chapter, 31 KD square, 32 QB8 chapter, 32 RXQ, 33 KDK square mate. Game 3. Salvioli justly points out that Black would have escaped now with a piece ahead by KB2. Game 3. If 27 PKR3, 28 KDXKD, followed by KDKD5 chapter, or if 27 QXKD, 28 RK8 chapter, followed by QXB and wins easily. Steinitz v. Zucker toward. Game 4. Compare calls 4, 5 and 6 of our tables for analysis up to this juncture. An excellent move which neutralizes the attack of White's pawns. Game 4. Certainly better than PX, in which case White could not make much use of the open KKD file, and Black after retaking with the KD, might eventually enter at kilobytes 5. The key move to White's future operations is the center. White can defend this piece if attacked by the adverse KD without being compelled to advance PQKD3, in which case Black would obtain some counter-attack by PR5. Game 4. If 19 RQ5, 20 BQ3, 20 KDQ3, 21 PQKD3, threatening KDB2 or BKD2. Game 4. The exchange is unfavorable for Black, and we should have preferred B kilobytes square, as White's KD could not do much harm for the present. Game 4. The best defense for this P. If 23 PQKD3, 24 RQB square threatening RB6. Game 4. An indifferent move which in no way alters the course of White's attack, but, practically, his line of defense would not have been much changed. If 26 PQKD3, 27 B63, 27 QK2 or K square, 28 Q kilobytes 2, etc. Game 4. Besides attacking the QKDP, The move in the text prepares a strong onslaught with the KDP eventually. Game 4. Useless. It would have been better to have exchanged rooks at once. Game 4. RQB square was much better. For whether white answered PKD3 or BQ5, black could answer KDKD4, and though in the latter case white would still have some attack by PKB4, which, however, would not have been as potent, as he could not avoid the exchange of his powerfully posted QB. Game 4. There is hardly any satisfactory defense against the attack here initiated. Game 4. IF35. PX. 36QXBP, etc. Game 4. No better was 36. PX. 37QX. 37QXQJ38RXQ. 38KDQ square. Or 38. KDK2. 39DX. Chapter 39 Cape moves, 40R63, etc. 39 PKD6 and wins. Game 4. PB6 was threatened, and if 37. BB square. 38BX. Chapter 38 KXB, 39 PXB double. Chapter 39 KK3 best, 40Q67 chapter, 40KQ3, 41 RQ square, chapter, and wins. Game 4. In the hope that white might take the QKDP, to which black would answer KDQ for threatening B64 chapter. Game 4. The decisive answer which prevents the entrance of KDQ for and attacks the indefensible RP. Game 4. RXB is the only defense, and then would follow the XB chapter and PB6 mate. The Ruy Lopez. Game 5. PK4. Game 6. London Tournament London Chess on 1886. Grace, 1883. 64. TGUNSBRG Steinitz. SCHALLOPP. Rosenthal. 53 KDB3 PQ3. Circumflex accent KDK254 asterisk BB465. Page underscore B3K to 066. Uked KD3 page R for 55/PKR4 BKKD50 QKD3 and Q circumflex accent 2. 00. BKD3 67. Q for XB 56 KDPXB 9. 68. 11 PXB 10 KDXQ3 PQXB I greater than LIPI0001 asterisk 1 P underscore B for PXB chapter KDB2 13. KKD square 57 IPR 300 58. End RKSQ. Q circumflex accent 3 Q circumflex accent 5 BB2. 59. JPB circumflex accent. BXKD 61 circumflex accent page Q4. RRKC. BK5 chapter. 69 PXP peer XP. 171. 18 Q31 circumflex accent 4 KRKSQ. IU KDQ to jerk KKD370HUR6.PR KSG. 7110 RKSQ. QRBKPXP. D61 ORK3. Vertical line RQBSQ.62 on KDB3. 63 KDB3 KDKD4. KDR3 KSQ. KKDB3 of KDB3 Game 7. International Chess Magazine. CH. 1885. Ben and RKSQ. Ben I resigns. Page QKD4. BGG8. March. Quart 17. Vertical line 3. Selman Steinitz. Asterisk KKDK2 RPQ for PXB and KDXB KDXKD and QXKD. QB380 BK3 BB481. KDR4. 1282 KDB5 QB square. BK2. IE. 17. KDKD3 page K580 for PQ485 QK3 PKKH86 BKD3 page QB487. 19 circumflex accent OQ3 XKBPBXB KDQ4 BR689. Ben and BKD7 game 6 conted. 22 circumflex accent 90. I. Game 8. London Chess Congress, 1883. TSCHIGORINZUKER Leonardi. KDB 3.020. RPQ for OPK 2. KDQ 399 OPXB RPXB Opus B3100101 DXB1B2 equals 5 LL00. LKD 60 to 102, QK to JP kilobytes 4, KD 3, ITIR PK 5 KKDQ for 10 underscore 31 MPB 6 QKDs 104, KRQSG 1 slash DR 3, KDXPIR, RQ7 106, TR6CH 74, T65, RX KD 75 76, Game 7 Condid 2 K3 77, KD underscore B5 chapter, R6 chapter, 93 IIQ6CH, circumflex accent BKD to CH, 107 no K KDSQ, 95 RQ for KD2, UUBQ for 0 BK6CH, OUKDK3 chapter then and RKSQ, 78 then NQ KD4 90 for KD square 96 question mark RKB4 72 JGR underscore KD3 chapter, DPKR for vertical line JQ underscore R5 97, Hendall BKD3 on QB5 nip tilde KD3 98 R65 CH KDQ for KDR for 79, 28 KDXB KDXR 73 D, P underscore B8 queening, circumflex accent QKS and RQ tilde KDAUUDR 6 109, KB for black mates into moves QB6 knight, and wins, 1101. Till, Bayou v Lopez, 25, Gunsberg v Scallop, IM 5. To this game was awarded the Brilliancy PRI/.RNTLMT tournament, Game 5. A defense first adopted by Mortimer in the London tournament of 1883. Should white capture the KP he would lose a piece by the replied PQB3, followed by QR for chapter. Lane 5. This weakens the king's side and is the cause of future trouble. But we believe he could afford that by proper subsequent play, especially as black has apparently nothing better than to oppose his KRP in the same way. Game 5. Black now enters on a bold and spirited attack which is only justified by the result, but we believe is not analytically sound. Game 5. All very clever and relatively correct as he must stand or fall with the attack, which he has initiated at the cost of material. Game 5. But just a little precaution on the part of white might have turned affairs. BKD3 attacking a key and getting a piece into safety which stood loose on the board was clearly the proper play. The move in the text was simply an error, and is taken advantage of by the opponent with great ingenuity. Game 5. After this his game becomes rapidly disorganized. He still could have made his defense good by BQ square. Game 5. Of course a natural sequence. Black after this gives no rest to the enemy, who is practically beaten already. Game 5. This point constitutes the brilliancy quality of this game. Though the soundness of the previous sacrifice of 2 pawns is very questionable, the game is now well redeemed by this offer of a sacrifice of the Q, which, if accepted, would be followed by mate in 3 moves, namely, by PXR, queening chapter, PR6CH, and RK8 mate. Game 5. If RQ square, black would win or by exchanging queens, followed by BXR and RK and chapter, and if KXB black would win speedily by QXB chapter, etc. Game 5. There was no resource. If 21 KDQ2, 21 BKD6, 22 PQ4 or 22 KDK4, 22 RX KD23 BXB chapter, 23 KXB, 24 RKY chapter, 24 KKD square, 25 Q kilobytes 3, and wins. Steinitz v. Rosenthal. Game 6. To this game was awarded the special prize for brilliancy in the grand tournament of that Congress. Game 6. Though black obtains some attack by this and the next move, the line of play here adopted cannot be recommended, as black has to sacrifice a piece, which should give white the advantage. Game 6. If 5pq3, 6pcj4, 6px, 7px, 7bkd5 chapter, 8kb square, plus threatening QR4, Game 6. Better than PQ5, in which case black could well retreat KD square. Game 6. Best. If 8QPXB, 9KDX, GKDX, IORKSQ, 10P or B kilobytes 4, HKDQ2, with an excellent game. Game 6. Loss of time, as the opponent's next two excellent moves prove. Game 6. Ish 17 RX 17 B62, 18 page 64 best, 18 KD 63, with an excellent game. Game 6. If now 18 RX 18 KRK square, 19 KD 63, 19 BKD 2, 20 RQKD 5 or 20 RQ 6, 20 B62, or 20 RKKD 5, 20 PKR 3, 21 RKD 4, 21 KDK 4, etc. 2663, 21 RKD 3, 21 KDK 4, with a strong attack. Game 6. BB square was much better. If, however, 26 BR4, White could not capture the B on account of the answer R63, but he could move QRKD square, followed by KDILD4 if once more attacked by RQB square. Jowl's game 6. An unsound sacrifice if White had played properly. Game 6. An error which costs the game. PX KD instead would have won easily by 30 PX KD, 30 PX 31 QKD2, 31 BR7CH. Or 31 QRs, 32 BQ2 and must win, 32 KB square etc. Game 6. The beautiful rejoinder which turns the tables. Game 6. This makes matters worse. The best defense now was QKD2, which might have led to the following continuation: 31 QKD2, 31 RKKD3, 32 BKD3, 32 QXQ chapter, 33 KXQ, 33 PXB, 34 PXB, 34 RXB chapter, 35 KR2, 35 RXB, 36 KDKD4, followed soon by RQB square. If, however, 31 PXKD, 31 RKB3 chapter, 32 BKD5 of course if 32 KRSQ, 32 QB6CH, and makes next move, or 32 BKD3, 32 BXB and wins, 32 BXB chapter, 33 K62, 33 BKD6CH, 34 KK2, 34 QKD5 chapter, with a winning game. Game 6. Beautiful play. Though the adversary comes out a piece ahead, the line of attack in the text is much stronger and finer than recovering the clear R by RKD3 chapter, in which case White would have interposed the B followed by QKD2 in reply to PXR. Game 6. Fatal. But QB2 was not much better, e.g., 33 QB2, 33 RKD3CH, not RK7, in which case White could reply RK square 34 BKD3, 34 PKR4, 35 KDK3, 35 PRs, 36. Asterisk for continued on page 27. 26. The Ruy Lopez. Game number 5. Move 19 PX. Black SCHALLOPP. Game number 6. Move 35 P Bike. Black Rosendahl. Hill millimeters. 1. White GUNSBRG. White STEINIBZ. Game number 7. Move 23 PQ6. Black Steinitz. IPWR //// circumflex accent J circumflex accent %SK circumflex accent. Game number 8. Move 20 PXKDP. Black ZUKER Leonardi. White Selman. White TSCHIGORIN. The IUY.OI:/. 27. Continued from page 21. KDB square, 36 PXB, 37 PXB. If KDXB, the answer is page kilobytes 437. RR3, 38 KDR2 if 38 QR2, 38 1R7 chapter, wins at least a piece 38 RK3 with a fine attack. Game 6. Mr. Rosenthal now finishes off with a few elegant strokes which deserve the special prize for brilliancy awarded to this game. Game 7. Either this or P circumflex accent QB4 which is preferred by Herr English and Dr. Note are necessary, as Black threatens to win the piece by PQB4 and page 65. And as Selman v. Steinitz. 34 CE by P81. Game 7. This B is better posted at K3. 82. Game 7. Aiming at a prospective attack on the king's side which is very hard to reach, his pieces were not well developed, and especially as his KDP, the advance of which was necessary for forming a king's side attack is blocked by his own bkd q2 was preferable. 83. Game 7. Not good, for it weakens his qbt. 84. Game 7. Which allows the opponent the important majority of pawns on the queen's side. But there was hardly anything better, as he had to guard against the adverse attack by b63 and pk5. 85. Game 7. If pxb followed by qq for white after retaking would play qk3, threatening bka should black capture the kkdr. 86. Game 7. To cut off the qb from supporting the weak q side, and also to prevent qkd3. 87. Game 7. His position is much confined and he makes a risky effort to extricate himself. 88. Game 7. If 19pxqp, 19kdq for 20qk asterisk, 20pxkbp, 21bxb, 21kdkd5, 22bq square. There seems nothing better if 22kdr3 black wins by bq4 followed by qqr4, and if 22bk3, 22pxb, 23pxb, 23qxb and wins 22bq4, 23qk to 23bxkkdp followed by kdq6 chapter, or qxb with a winning attack. 89. Game 7. His best plan was to retreat bq2 followed by qk4 in case black answered q62. 90. Game 7. If 22bxb, 22qxb, 23qk4 or 2300, 23kdk6 followed by bkbytes 4 or q4 with a winning game 23rqb square with a fine game. 91. Game 7. The winning move. 92. Game 7. If bq square, black would win by bq4, or by pq7 chapter 93. Game 7. Better than bq4 to which white might reply bb6. 94. Game 7. If now 26bb6, 26bxq, 27bxq, 27bxb, followed accordingly by bq8 or kdk7 chapter, and remaining with a piece ahead. 95. Game 7. If he meant to fight on at all kb square was better. 96. Game 7. If he move in the corner, then follows kd67 chapter, kdkt $dis.ch. and qr5, etc. 97. Game 7. qkd4 was most precise, for then white had not the resource of qk2, for in that case black could answer bkd5. 98. Game 7. qk2 might have prolonged the game as he could interpose the q at 63 if black played q65 chapter. Scolar v. Zucker toward. 99. Game 8. In the book of the London International Tournament of 1883 Zucker toward remarks on this move, new, be no improvement on the usual continuations 7pxkd or 7bk to 100. Game 8. An excellent move which supports the center until the pawns are ready for attack. 101. Game 8. If 9qus, 9pxb, 10qxb chapter, 10bq2, 11qus, 10rqkdsq, 12kd63, 12 page 63, etc. Zucker toward. 102. Game 8. Fine play. The center pawns are now well prepared for action. 103. Game 8. kkdq2 was better Zucker toward. We believe that with 15bxb, exclamation point 5pxkd, 16pxb, 16rk square, 17bxq there seems nothing better 17rxq, 18bxb, 18kdkd for, 19kdq for, 19rq7, 20pkr for white had a good prospect of equalizing the game. 104. Game 8. 16qk3 or b4 would be a little better, while 16pxb leads to immediate loss with 16bxb, 17kdk6, 17qb3, 18kdxb, 18qkd3 chapter, 19kr square, 19p.x, and wins. Zucker toward. 105. Game 8. The beautiful move. Zucker toward points out that it threatens mates in for moves, commencing with kdr6 chapter, or qkd5 accordingly, and at 18. QKD5 would have been bad. White would reply KDXDP 106. Game 8. If 21BXB, 21 KDR6CH, 22 KX, 22 QKD to chapter, 23 KX or KD3, 23 QB6 chapter, followed by R65 chapter and wins. Zucker toward 107. Game 8. 24. The Q6 chapter was, we believe, stronger still, and might have led to the following continuation: 25 KQ for best, 25 QRQ square chapter, 26 K63, 26 BKD for this. CH. 27 RK3, 27 KDQ for chapter, 28 KQ2, 28 RXB chapter and mates in a few moves. 108. Game 8. Obviously, if RXKD black also answered R65 chapter and mates next move. 109. Game 8. If RK8 chapter, black replies best K62. Zucker toward 110. Black wins the Q with a check of the Q on the 5th row. To S the Ruy Lopez. PK4. LP14. Game 9. Chess Coit. 1873. V/ Vienna, CHES Gres. ANEERSSEN Steinitz. 3P equals QR3R for asterisk KDB3 RPQ 3PQ3. For BXKD chapter. 7 page KR3 111 PKKD3 packet B3. QBKFR square. PKR3 page KKD4. 13. KDKD square 0 underscore Q underscore QKDK2. KDB3 QB3 113 15 KD underscore Q5 ENKKDKVSQ. LO circumflex accent 114. 1 NKDKD3 1 BK3 JNKKDK 2115. 116. QKD2 PQR for KQ 2 page kilobytes 3. 23. K to QR kilobytes square. KDQ chapter. KDB square. PB. 117. QK to PKD for U8 IPB6. QKD4. 30. 31. Game 9 Condid. RBSQ.B2PB for 119 DK.PXBP peer expir. KD3. 33. 35. BXKDPX KDK2 RKBSQR to backslash 3 BKR2 KDKD square. F tilde KD square. KDK2. QRB3. KDKD3. White resigns. 12-0. 9 KKDB3 flop KDB3. Game 10. London Chess Congress, 1862. 4 ANDERSSEN Paulson. KD3 121. For P equals Q3 RBXKD chapter. Page KR3K to QKDB3 0000 KDK square. BKD2 122. PQ for 123 KDBS 124. BBS KRQ3 KS 15. KRK square. QKD for KDXKD 125. 17 B3 PKDK2. N underscore R5 126. R for KDKD 3 BK for 127 PE6. D1 to 8129. KKD for K2 130. BXB square dot 131. RXR. QK8CH. For OK KD2. 0 for KDRSCH. Black resigns. BKD5. Game 11. Salviali. ANDERSSEN Paulson. PQR3 QRR for BKD3 BKD to 0 to 0 KKD3. BKD2. PQR for 132 KKDK2. QKDB3 of 10. Then. KDQ5DR to page KD5. KDK2P0 for page kilobytes 3. PB133. PKD6BPXP. PXPPXBPXB. 130 for vertical line QK square. 135. Page KD4 dig. Chapter. R60 to 136 KDK6. D137 question mark I circumflex accent QRKBSQ.138. To SRR for TB3. 11 DX Rand wins. Game 12. Vienna, Chess Con // Gress, 1883. BLACKBUR XCJ Steinitz. I. K2. KDX KDR QX KDP QKD4. Page QB4. 139. 11. BKD2. Square. 141. 13 BB2 KD3. Square. 1 RQR5 Crease ASQ.142 1/BQSQ. BKDB5 143 LOP B3 NPQR4. PNRP Expir. 0 vertical line BK3 144. JQ_QQR3 145 vertical line bar_K4 146.RQ7. P.KDR6CH.FF I 147. Till KLB all L./29. Anderson v. Steinitz. 111. Lane 9. PQ4 is, we believe, better. But Professor Anderson had previously adopted success. Fully underscore the same tactics, as in the present game, against first-class players. See for instance the two next games, and his maneuvering was, we believe, based on the idea that black's kilobytes cannot be brought into proper action and that black will light veer to exhaust himself in his efforts to undouble his QBP. The line of play adopted here for the defense shows that the open QKD file and the two bishops are sufficient recompense for the doubled pawn. 112. Lane 9. This and the next 5 moves for black form part of one plan, namely, to maneuver his KD to Q5. For that purpose he was bound to provide against the hostile entrance of BR6 as soon as the black KD played to K2. 113. Game 9. Had he played PQB3, then black could, nevertheless, answer KD Q5, and would recover the piece should PX KD. 114. Game 9. Black has altogether neglected the principle of rapid development, which was one of the maxims of the old school, and he has deferred castling until he has CC-amplified his maneuvers to obtain possession of the adverse center with his KD. Obviously white cannot break in at any point, while black can form an attack in different directions after due preparations, either by the ultimate advance of the QRP or the QP or the KBP. 115. Game 9. White has no doubt wasted time, but it is difficult to suggest any plan of operation for him that would be more than of a waiting and defensive character. 116. Game 9. After this exchange, which might have been delayed but could hardly be avoided, black obtains much the best of the game. Game 9. By this move black effects his purpose of shutting up the adverse Q, and all his pawns are well defended, or not approachable. It will be easily seen that white cannot exchange pawns without subjecting himself to a still stronger attack on the queen's side at once. Game 9. If he had exchanged both pawns black would equally gain the advantage in position. Afterward by PQ 4, or else by taking possession of the open QB file with his art. Game 9. Having accomplished his object of practically getting rid of the adverse Q, black concentrates his attack on the other wing, and by steady pressure he breaks through, with some difficulty, which shows that the defensive * disposition of white's forces remained strong, though they are deprived of the assistance of the queen. Greater than. Game 9. Whichever R retakes the B black answers Q expert and wins in a few moves. Anderson v. Paulson. 21. Game 10. Though black does not advance PQR$ on the third move, as in the previous game, the positions become very similar, but the line of play adopted by each of the parties is widely different from the respective treatments of this opening by the players in the first quoted game, which occurred 11 years later. 22. Game 10. Generally it is preferable in such a situation to keep the beat in communication with both wings, and BQ2 is preferable. The beat is here posted with some remote expectation of bringing it to bear against the king's side. 1. Game 10. Not good, for it leaves a hole at QB4, which weakens all the pawns on the Q side. PKD3 with the object of playing KD2 or else PQB4, followed by PQ was more congenial to the position. Point 24. Game 10. White also plays for a king's side attack which can be easily guarded against, and he endangers his game when he could have obtained a sure advantage by maneuvering on the other side. KDQ KD3 with the object of playing KD65 or $R sooner or later was the proper play. Point 25. Game 10. Lowenthal rightly suggests here BB square is much stronger. White had then to guard against the threatened PK KD3, and his whole attack would have soon been broken. The likely continuation was after 15 BB square, 16 BX KD, 16 PXB, 17 Q63, 17 QBX KD, 18 QXB, 18 BX KD, 19 PXB, 19 RK4, followed by QK2, with much the superior game. 5. Game 10. Black's game is now inferior. If 18 RK, 19 KD KD3, 19 R65, 20 QQ KD3, 20 BR3, 21 BR3, 21 PR5, 21 QQ3, and we prefer White's game. 7. Game 10. Black gives the opponent an opportunity for a beautiful combination stroke. But his game was anyhow very bad already, for in answer to QRR square, which was about his only other alternative, White would have replied KDR5 with an irresistible attack. Continued on page. The Ruy Lopez. Game number 9. Move 30. Page 64. Black Steinitz. 1. Game number 10. Move 22 PB6. Black L. Paulson. White A and ERSSEN. White A and ERSSKN. Game note. II. Move 24 QXB. Black Paulson. Game number 12. Move 24 RQ. Black BLACKBUR and E. White A and ERSSEN. White Steinitz. Miles, UIVI.OIIZ.3. Continued from page 2. Game IO. The present key remove of his final attack is remarkably fine and effective. Game IO. If 22. PX 23 KD85, 23 QB square, 24 BXB, 24 PXB, 25 RX 25 K11 square, 26 OKD3, with a fine attack. GNU, IOJ overlooking the forcible waning process by 24 RXB, 24 RXR, 25 P kilobytes 4, 25 QX 26 R kilobytes SI, and wins. Game IO. Black on the other hand does not see that he can save and win the game now by GKD3 followed by page 83 of BXB. Asterisk Anderson v. Paulson. Game II. We think that the move we propose in our call 10, this 8 KD5 gives White a stronger attack. Game 10. This is premature. PKR3 was here necessity, an error of which White takes advantage in a precise manner. Game 10. QRK square would not have answered as well, as Black would attack the Q by KD64. Game II. There was nothing better. If KRSQ, the replied KDX. Chapter wins the Q or mate is effected in 2 more moves by QR for chapter. Splendid style. If 24 PXQ, 25 RXR chapter, 25 KR square, 26 BXKD and wins. Blackburn v. Steinitz. 139. Game 12. Not good as it weakens the QP. The correct move is BK3. Seek L.12. 140. Game 12. If IIBX 12 RK square, 12 PQ for best, for it 12 BKD3, 13 BQ5, 13 RB square, 14 BKD7, 14 RB2, 15 BXRP followed by PQR4 and should win. If 12 BB3, 13 BQS, by 3 QQ2, I for QB3, I for BXB, 15 QXB, 15 RQSQ, 16 BB4 followed by PQR4 with a fine attack, and wins 13 page 63 followed by BXB. 141. Game 12. Weak for White's Q4 square is made accessible to the hostile pieces. KD3 at once was better. 142. Game 12. It was better to play the KR in order to remove BB square, which completely protected the king's side. 143. Game 12. In order to prepare for the advance of the QP, for it now 18 PQ for 19 PK dollars and black dare not capture twice on account of the ultimate KDK, chapter, followed by QXRP chapter 144. Game 12. An excellent sacrifice of a piece which well repays. 145. Game 12. An ingenious trap as will be seen. 146. Game 12. Overlooking the opponent's design. KDK4 with the view of sacrificing the exchange by KDQ6 in case the opponent played KDQ6 was his best defense. 147. Game 12. This wins by force. The Ruy Lopez. PK4. Game 13. Game 14. KKDB3 BKBs. Game 15. Game 16. Paris Chess Con. Correspondence Gress. 1878. Game. /ZUKRDORD Frankfurt BLACKBUR and Stuttgart. 3 CPQR3 BR4. KDB3.00 BKBs. Po 0. The Ruy Lopez. 33. Blackburn v. Zucker toward. Game 13. Compare our call. 18 up to this juncture. Game 13. An excellent move which seizes a powerful attack on the king's side. Game 13. Best in order to guard, in anticipation, against the adverse attack by QKD2. Game 13. Fine play. By bringing his B round to KKD3 Northeast S circumflex accent attacks the weakest point of the enemy and protects his king's side against any danger. Game 13. A powerful and winning stroke. Frankfurt v. Stuttgart. Game 14. We do not like this exchange, and we much prefer KDQB4. Game 14. This advance loosens his strong pawns. There was no objection against BQ2. Game 14. Obviously, if PX KD, the replied BX. Chapter wins. Game 14. The initiation of a beautiful and deep-laid plan. 157. Game 14. Nothing better now. If 21 QQB4, 22 RQB square, 22 Q 0.5, 23 BK3, 23 Q KD5, 24 QR, chapter, 24 KQ square, 25 BKD6 chapter, and wins. Game 14. If 24 BX KD, 25 PXB, 25 Q moves, 26 QB, CH, 26 KK square, 27 RK square and wins. Salvia. Game 14. If 25 QX 26 BR5 chapter, 26 KK2, if QXB the Q is lost by KDKDE chapter 27 Q67 chapter, 27 BQ2, 28 KD65 chapter and wins Salvia. Fermate is now forced after 28 KK3 best, by 29 KDQ for chapter, 29 KK2, 30 QQ8 mate. Game 14. There is nothing better. If 27 BK2, 28 BXB, 28 KXB, 29 KD65, and wins. Mackenzie v. Wynor. L. Game 15. Compare notes 53 and 54 to call. 20. Zucker toward played at this stage against the same opponent in the same tournament 12. PQ for and white took the P in passing, and after the exchange of pieces black remained with an isolated QP. The game ultimately ended in a draw. Black, however, cannot play P kilobytes 3, for white would win the P by Q60 for chapter, followed by PX 2. Game 15. A feeble sort of waiting policy. 13. PQ3, 14 KDQ5, 14 RK square, was his best resource, for though white can't now also win the P by KDXB and PX, black will be able to develop his forces, and is likely to draw on account of the bishops being of opposite colors. 3. Game 15. Waste of time. Evidently P for was the proper play. Game 15. Necessary as a temporary expedient, for he could not afford to allow BKBs, but this advance is the cause of breakdown in a few moves. 5. Game 15. Excellent play. Of course black dare not take, for white would reply QR4 and win in a few moves. 3. Game 15. The master coup which disorganizes the opponent's game. 167. Game 15. Clearly if 23 QR2, the chapter of the Q at B6 followed by the chapter of the R also wins the Q. Y nor V. Zucker toward L68. Game 16. In call 25 we recommend P kilobytes 3 at once at this juncture. We think this better, as in some continuations the KT may be wanted to enter that OJ after advancing PQ for 169. Game 16. If 12 BQSQ, 13 PR6, 13 PXB, 14 QKD for chapter, 14 BKD4, 15 KDXB chapter and 34 the Ruy Lopez. Game number 13. Move 26 BK square. Black ZUKER the party. 8. Game number 14. Move 25 PR6. Black Stuttgart. 1. Exclamation point asterisk white BLACKBUR and E. White Frankfurt. Game number 16. Move 20 PXB. Black WINAW. Game number 16. Remove I8 page 95. Black ZUKER the party. I. asterisk. White Mackenzie. White WINAW. The Ruy Lopez. 35. Continued from page JJJ. 171. Game 16. We would have decidedly preferred B Esquire for this threatened KDX followed L greater than YPX and PQ3. 172. Game 16. Ish 17 PX N passant. 17 PX 18 KDX 18 BX KD. 19 KXB. 19 KDQ dollars and wins. 173. Game 16. There seems to have been nothing better. If 19 PX KD, 19 PX KD, 20 Q $64, to see PX with at least as good a game as White's. 174. Game 16. Was this he gets himself into difficulties from which he does not recover for some time. Taking possession of the open file by RK square was much better. 175. Game 16. RK5 was much stronger, for it threatened to win all the pawns on the queen's side and to remain a clear piece ahead without relieving the adverse K if black adopt C1, a line of play similar to the one that actually occurred. L76. Game 16. Was this the draw is forced, for R and KD cannot win against R by best play, and black has also an extra piece which white must try to get rid of. Game 17. International Chess Magazine. Bauer Forges. The Ruy LOI/37. Bauer v. Forges. 177. Claim 17. UP to this point the play of both parties has proceeded as in the lines of the preceding game, but here white loses time in order to lay a trap against the established defense. 178. See James 17. 664 with the view of advancing PKDJ, or PQA accordingly, was the right play. 179. Game 17. KR square was now indispensable as a precaution. 180. Game 17. Excellent play. There is no good defense against this fine stroke. 181. Item 17. If KR square, he comes at with a clear R behind by the answer KDXR chapter, followed by QXKD chapter, and ultimately RXB. 182. Game 17. The R must interpose which white will capture with the KD followed by QX, etc. Lowenthal, Brighton and Wormald in consultation. 183. Game 18. 8BK2 is the right move here. 184. Game 18. A bad defense which subjects them to a powerful attack. Still BK2 was the best play. 185. Game 1-8. Highly ingenious. White gives up the Q but obtains 3 minor pieces for it, with an irresistible attack. 186. Game 1-8. After 21. QXKDP chapter, 22 RKD3, 22 QQ8 chapter, 23 KKD2, black's game is hopeless. Neumann v. Anderson. Game 19. A favorite defense of Professor Anderson for some time, but he abandoned it ultimately as it does not yield a satisfactory position by best play on the other side. Game 19. This is not good. The right answer is 8px, and if 8qk square. 900, followed by pq4, with the superior game. But not 9pq4 as black would reply 9. qbr3 preventing white's castling, with a strong attack. Likewise, if black plays 8qx in reply to px, white answers 900 game 19. This gives white the inferior game. P4 was much superior. Game 19. His best plan was now 11 kd, as suggested by Herr Dufresne, or upq5, ubqkd2, 12 bkd5, 12 kdx, with a much superior game. Game 19. Here is a case where the king's side has been early left without any protection from minor pieces, and black now wins by force. If 13p3, 13px, 14px, 14qkr4, 15r62, 15kdk5 and wins. Game 19. Winding up with consummate skill. Game 19. No better is 18qq2, for then follows 18qbh chapter, 19kr2, 19kdk5 and Steinitz v. Blackburn. Game 20. pkd3 with the view of posting the b at kkd2 is now established as the better defense. Game 20 not so much for defensive purposes as with the view of forming an attack by pkd4 after black has castled. Game 20. Introduced for the first time in the present game, and this development of the kd with the view of maneuvering it to be square has since become an established form of attack. Game 20. We believe it would have been better to retreat bq square. Game 20. Much better was 17p4, which might have led to the following continuation: 18kdk square, 18pxkp, 19px, 19kd65, 20qb square, followed by pk3 and pkr4.